Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're taking a fascinating look at the railways in East Africa. Specifically, some recent moves aimed at really turbocharging the train services in Ethiopia. At the heart of this is a newly inked Memorandum of Understanding, and we've got the details to unpack for you.
Exactly. And our main focus, it's going to be this MOU between the Ethiopian Railway Corporation and the Korea Railroad Corporation, that's KORAIL.
Okay.
We've also got some quick snapshots of railway activity happening, around the globe, just to give us a bit of context. But the real mission today, I think, is to understand what this partnership could actually do for Ethiopia's rail network.
Right. We want to go beyond just the headlines, don't we? And really understand how this collaboration might reshape Ethiopia's infrastructure, its economy, maybe even its connections with neighboring countries. I'm hoping we can uncover some genuinely insightful moments about, well, how international cooperation plays out in these massive infrastructure projects.
Yeah, should be interesting.
So let's dive into this MOU. What does it really mean on the ground?
Well, think of a memorandum of understanding. In this kind of context, it's like the initial handshake.
Okay.
It's a formal record, basically, of both organizations saying, look, we see potential here and we want to work more closely together. It's not yet a binding contract for specific projects,
Oh, right.
But it signals a strong intention to cooperate and to explore concrete agreements down the line.
So it's the first step on a potentially longer journey then. What are the key ambitions that both Ethiopian Railways and KORAIL have actually laid out?
The core ambitions, they really revolve around making Ethiopia's existing and, future rail services more efficient, more dependable.
Efficient and dependable.
Yeah, and this isn't just about trains running on time, though that's part of it. It includes, everything from how the infrastructure is managed to the overall operational effectiveness of the network.
Right. We've got a quote here from Helena Belicu. She's the CEO of Ethiopian Railways. She called the signing a real important milestone in strengthening the cooperation and laying the groundwork for potential future agreements.
Yeah.
And she also highlighted the expectation of tremendous benefits not only to the Ethiopian Railway Corporation, but also to the Ethiopian economy as a whole. That sounds like pretty high stakes.
It is. It really is. When they talk about tremendous benefits, they're likely envisioning things like, smoother freight transport, maybe reducing the cost of goods, and improved passenger services, making it easier for people to connect, to do business. Ultimately, they see this as a driver for broader economic development.
And KORAIL seems to share this enthusiasm, right? Their CEO, Moon Hihan, expressed their commitment to supporting the advancement of Ethiopia's railway infrastructure.
Yeah.
What really caught my eye, though, was their mention of the need.
Absolutely. KORAIL isn't just looking at this bilaterally between the two countries.
Right.
Their language, it really points to a vision where their expertise and support in Ethiopia could perhaps become a model for railway development and cooperation across the African continent. And maybe leveraging their experience with overseas development aid, too.
Interesting. Okay, now, to move beyond just intentions, they've apparently established a Korea-Ethiopia Rail Working Group. What's the practical role of this group going to be?
The working group. This is sort of where the rubber meets the road.
Okay.
It's essentially a dedicated team, right? And it will facilitate the exchange of crucial information, know-how, related to railway tech and operations.
So sharing expertise.
Exactly. And it'll also be the space where both sides can share updates on what they're doing, their activities, and, crucially, hash out the details of any specific projects that might arise from this initial agreement.
So it's the engine room, kind of, for turning this cooperative spirit into tangible actions.
You could put it that way, yeah.
Okay, that gives us a good sense of the MOU's potential. But as we know, Ethiopia has already made some pretty significant strides in building its rail network.
Oh, definitely.
Let's talk about some of these key projects. Maybe starting with the Awash Woldia standard gauge line. That sounds like a massive undertaking.
It is, indeed. It's 392 kilometers long, and this line represents a USD 1.7 billion investment.
Wow.
It's what's known as an engineering, procurement, and construction turnkey contract, an EPC contract.
Turnkey, so like...
Yeah, think of it like getting a complete, ready-to-use railway delivered by the company that's building it. They handle pretty much everything.
Gotcha. And who are the main players bringing this particular railway to life?
Well, the construction itself is being led by Yapı Merkezi. They're a Turkish company, pretty strong track record in railway infrastructure.
Okay.
And then providing the technical expertise, making sure everything meets the required standards, that's Sistra. They're acting as the consultant.
Right. And beyond just the tracks, what kind of other infrastructure is needed to support a project of this scale? It can't just be rails, can it?
Oh, no, it's a significant amount of supporting stuff. The plans include 10 substations, that's to power the electric trains,
Right.
52 bridges to navigate the terrain, 8 power control stations to manage the electricity flow,
Right.
and a dedicated maintenance center as well to keep everything running smoothly, long term.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Okay, strategically, why is this Awash line such a vital piece of the puzzle for Ethiopia?
Its strategic value really lies in its ability to connect the northern parts of Ethiopia with the existing Addis Ababa Djibouti railway line down at Awash.
Ah, okay, the connection point.
Exactly. And this is crucial because, well, Ethiopia's landlocked, right?
Mm.
So this provides essential access to maritime transport through the port of Djibouti. This connection can significantly streamline trade, maybe reduce transportation costs for goods coming in and going out. It's a big deal.
Okay. Moving further north then, we have another major development. The Woldia, Mekelle standard gauge electrified line. This one also involves a substantial financial commitment, I see.
Absolutely. Yeah, this 216-kilometer electrified line has a project value of USD 1.6 billion.
Still huge.
Still huge. And similar to the Awash line, it requires really extensive engineering work to, well, traverse the landscape up there.
Right. What kind of supporting infrastructure are we looking at for this one? Bridges, tunnels?
Yeah, quite a bit. This project includes 76 bridges.
76?
Yeah. And a remarkable 370 culverts, for managing water flow, and 8 tunnels totaling 10 kilometers in length.
10 kilometers of tunnels.
Uh-huh. The longest of those tunnels stretches for an impressive 3.7 kilometers on its own.
Wow. And what's the intended route, and what are they hoping the impact of this Woldia-Mekelle line will be on the region?
So the line starts in Woldia, proceeds towards Hargeisa, and then runs through several key northern cities before reaching Mekelle City.
Which has a dry port, right?
Which has an important dry port, exactly. The anticipation is that this railway won't just foster stronger social ties between these urban centers, but also be a significant catalyst for economic growth, really benefit the communities all along its path.
And who are the key companies involved in making this northern line a reality? Is it the same group?
No, different players here. The construction is being carried out by the China Communications Construction Corporation, CCC.
Okay, CCCC.
And the China International Engineering Consulting Corporation, or CIECC. They're serving as the project consultant on this one.
Right. Now, Ethiopia isn't exactly new to cross-border rail, is it? I mean, the Addis Ababa Djibouti Railway, that's been up and running for a while now. That was a real landmark achievement.
It certainly was, yeah. The 752-kilometer Addis Ababa Djibouti Railway, it has 19 stations. It's been operational since, 2018?
Yeah.
It was a real game changer. It was the first fully electrified trans-boundary railway in the region, capable of speeds up to 120 kilometers per hour.
Pretty impressive. And the investment in that particular line was considerable, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. It represented a USD 4 billion investment.
4 billion?
Yep. Largely supported by a loan from the Export-Import Bank of China. Its significance, in facilitating trade and transportation between Ethiopia and Djibouti, well, it really can't be overstated.
No kidding. And then within Addis Ababa itself, there's also a light rail system, which, as I understand it, was another first for the region, for sub-Saharan Africa even.
That's right. Yeah. The Addis Ababa light rail line, it was inaugurated back in November 2015.
Okay.
And this 17-kilometer network, it holds the distinction of being the first light rail transit, or LRT, system in Eastern and Sub-Saharan Africa.
So what's its primary function within the capital city? Who does it serve?
It mainly connects the bustling city center with the industrial zones, which are located in the southern part of Addis Ababa.
Cool.
So it provides a vital artery for the movement of both commuters, workers, and potentially goods as well.
And who is responsible for the construction and now the operation of this urban rail network?
The line itself was built by the China Railway Group Limited Company, that's CREC.
CREC, okay.
And it's currently operated using a fleet of 41 light rail vehicles. The total project cost was around USD 475 million.
Right.
And the funding breakdown was 85% co-financed by a loan, again from the Export-Import Bank of China, with the remaining 15% coming from the Ethiopian government's own budget.
Okay. So it's clear that Ethiopia has been actively building its rail infrastructure for quite a significant period now.
Yeah.
With substantial projects both domestically and, crucially, connecting it to the wider region via Djibouti.
Definitely. A lot happening.
Now, our sources also included a few brief updates on railway news from other parts of the world, little snippets about developments in Norway, the UK, Sweden, Denmark.
Yeah.
How do these fit into our broader picture today? Are they relevant?
Well, I think they are, yeah. These snippets from around the globe, covering things like station upgrades in Norway, maybe a new station getting the green light in the UK, new train testing, implementing advanced signaling systems like ETMS. They serve as important reminders, really, that investment and innovation in rail infrastructure are continuous processes. They're happening worldwide.
Right. It's not just Ethiopia.
Exactly. They provide a context. They show that Ethiopia's efforts, while significant and ambitious, are part of a larger global trend in upgrading and expanding railway capabilities. While the specifics obviously differ from country to country, the underlying drive to improve efficiency, capacity, connectivity through rail, that seems to be a shared ambition across many nations.
So while our main focus today is rightly on Ethiopia's ambitious plans and this new partnership with KORAIL, these global updates kind of underscore that this is a sector with ongoing momentum and investment everywhere.
Precisely. It puts it in perspective.
Okay, let's try and synthesize what we've learned then. What are the crucial takeaways from our deep dive today?
Okay. Well, I think first, the MOU between Ethiopia and South Korea, it represents a really significant step forward in Ethiopia's long-term strategy to modernize and expand its railway services.
Right, it signals intent.
That. Exactly. And it builds upon a really substantial foundation of existing and developing infrastructure. We talked about those key projects like the Awash, the Woldia, and of course the Addis Ababa, Djibouti lines. This collaboration, the KORAIL one, it really has the potential to significantly boost economic activity, enhance regional connections, and, importantly, facilitate the sharing of valuable technical expertise between the two countries.
And what's the relevance of all this for you, our listener, tuning in? Why should they care?
Well, I think understanding these kinds of international partnerships and just the sheer scale of infrastructure development underway in countries like Ethiopia, it offers a really valuable lens into global economic trends.
Yeah.
And it highlights the fundamental importance of efficient transportation networks for national progress. Ethiopia's commitment to rail infrastructure, it serves as a really compelling example of a nation strategically investing in its future.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Finally, maybe here's a thought to ponder as we wrap up. Given the immense scale of these railway projects in Ethiopia and the absolutely crucial role played by these international collaborations we've discussed, it prompts the question, what other vital sectors within Ethiopia or perhaps in other developing economies could similarly benefit from such focused partnerships in infrastructure investment?
Interesting question.
And looking further down the line, maybe thinking bigger picture, what are the broader geopolitical and economic consequences of such ambitious rail development for regional trade and integration across the whole East African landscape?
Yeah, those are big questions. Lots to think about there.
That certainly gives you something to think about. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.